new drummer for a new awakening.
Across the realms and around the world, welcome to Outside the Box. Tonight your host and vessel of spirit is Nancy Zilversmit. We hope that you will learn to have the strength and courage to step outside the box and dwell with spirit, and to leave the old beliefs that hold you down behind you and rediscover your spirituality in new ways. Hello, it's April 8th, 2015, and this show is sponsored by www.sanctuaryofsacredspace.com. I'm going to go ahead and get into the calendar of events, and then I'm going to get into some stories and some audience questions, and also we have manifestation. We're going to continue doing that, and we're going to go beyond what's on the blog, so we're going to get a little ahead of the blog and just go for it. We do have a lot to cover. So anyway, the calendar of events. This Friday I will be at Melting Heart Boutique from 12 to 5 p.m. doing readings, energy healing, spiritual counseling, and pretty much anything that you need. And I start at $20 for 15 minutes, and it goes up from there. You choose how long your session will be. 7th Avenue and Camelback Road. The address is 702 West Camelback Road, Suite 12, the north side of the building. You won't find an entrance on the south side of the building. You have to go to the north side, right next to Sally's, and that's a hair supply place. Okay, on Saturday, though, I will not be at Melting Heart Boutique. I will be over at Harmony in Phoenix, also known as Rising Phoenix. It's a spiritualist church. It's going through a name change right now, and they still haven't taken the sign down. On April 11th, 12 to 5, at 15222 West Encanto Road. And I will be there at the Psychic Fair. There'll be myself and probably about 6 or 7 other people who will be offering all kinds of services. And again, it's $20 for 15 minutes, and that one is cash only at the door. And I don't handle the money, the church does. Okay, on Monday, April the 13th, 6:30 p.m. we have at the Melting Heart Boutique, we have group spiritual healing, and that's where you come in. I do a group healing session, and we help to lift a lot of the anxiety, the worries, the negative energy, whatever you got going on, whatever your intention is, whether it's that you want to meet your guide and watch them heal, or whatever it is that you want. Spirit tries to comply in any way that they can. If they don't, it's because there's something else going on, or they think that something is more important. And we'll talk about a little bit about healing stuff, because that is our subject, part of our subject today in the stories section, not in the main. Not in the main subject matter. There was a lot of healings going on this week. I'm going to pick out a couple, and then I'm also going to talk a little bit about something Spirit is doing with me with healing. And healing can mean aligning your chakras, or it can mean major past life work, or it can be pulling out negative energy, or whatever you have going on, or helping the energy of a physical issue so that the physical issue can move forward and start healing and be treatable. Okay, so the first one was a gentleman who's been coming to me down at Melting Heart, and about once a week now, and he decided that instead of a reading, he wanted to have his chakras cleared. He said, I'm having issues with my chakras. The energy's not flowing up and down. There's a lot of major blockage, and yada, yada, yada. And it's just like, okay, so what's going on in your life? So we discussed a few things that were going on in your life, and he was partaking in some things that were not good for having clear chakras, where he would have picked up a lot of crap, or that he would have blocked off his chakras every time he did one of those things, and he was also in a survival mode, which also was blocking off his root chakra, amongst other things. When you have relationships that you know that are not good for you energetically because the other person is in another place that you're not really supposed to be doing things that they should not be doing. When you have intimacy with that person, well, your energy and their energy will circulate through your body. Okay, so you exchange the energy, and it goes through your entire chakra system. So if this gentleman was doing something he shouldn't have been doing, and the energy went through his chakra system, of course it got clogged up because the other person was passing their negative energy along to you. So you got to be careful about choosing your partners, especially if you're going to be intimate with them. And it's where you may think that you are going to be clear enough and you're going to be strong enough and you're going to have all your chakras clear. And the thing is that you go and have a relationship with somebody, one night stand or whatever. Excuse me. And it's just like you need to realize that the energy is exchanging between your energy field and their energy field. And so I had to clear him out. And the thing is we had to discuss what he was going to do about that relationship. He said, I think I'm going to give it up. And I said, yeah, if you want to stay clear a lot, you might have to. And I said, it doesn't sound like it's healthy anyway. And Spirit agreed with that. He got cleaned up really, really hard and heavy, and to the point where I finally sat back and the chakras, my chakras, just connected out to his and did a final jolt of his energy. He was pretty dizzy afterwards, and then Spirit decided that they were going to put a set of armor on him so that he could go to his place of work and stop picking up all the negative energy. He works in a hospital, and so he would stop picking up all that negative energy there. So they armored him, and he says, oh man, I could feel the rivets going in. That's not the first time I've heard that. I've assisted people with armor, getting armored before, and that's one of the things they say. They can actually feel the rivets going in to get the armor on. And I said, well, they'll probably tweak it this week. So go home if you want that, if it's too tight or if you have some energy twinges going on, just talk to Spirit, lay down, ask them, please come in and adjust this armor. This is heavy duty Spirit armor. This isn't something where you're gonna blow some smoke on yourself, or you're gonna wear some little trinket for protection or nothing. This is directly from Spirit, and you can feel it when it happens. I've talked about it in previous shows over the years about getting helmets, about getting armor, and I've had people come on and talk about their armor. So yes, it does happen. And it just happened again to this gentleman, especially when he said, I'm going to give up this relationship. And they cleaned him out, armored him up to help protect him. So anyway, then we have another example. It's not as major as that one, but this woman had been having headaches for 2 or 3 months, I think she said. And she's in one of my classes, and she said, well, while you're standing there while I'm doing my reading, because she was doing her practice reading, she's in one of my classes, she says, could you do something about this headache? And I said, well, I shall see. And the thing is that she's an atheist, so she doesn't believe in spirit, but she believes in energy, and we've talked about that before on the show. And a lot of times when you've got people that don't believe in spirit, don't believe in God or deities or angels or anything else, they still believe in energy, because energy is everywhere. So I just basically, up here in my head go, okay, whoever wants to work with this woman to do whatever needs to be done, let's do it. So they did some energy work, and she's feeling the energy as I'm working from her head all the way down to her back and then back up to her head again. And she's feeling, oh, that's an odd energy. And I went, yes, it's the healer that's working on you. And I walked away after she was done with doing the reading, and I was done with the energy, and went to the other side of the table and said, well, how are you feeling? And she's like, she still had her headache. And I said, that's because they did a lot of energy work on you. They're doing the spiritual work. The thing is that you need to go see a doctor about that headache. You've had it too long. She said, well, yeah, I do have an appointment for a neurologist later this week. I said, well, good. Make sure you go, because sometimes you do need to see a doctor. And So even when you have, and that'll lead into another question that somebody had, but yeah, even when you have something going on and it's not spiritual, go take care of it. Go take care of it. Get it taken care of. Go to a doctor. Don't be afraid to do that. I see so many of these new agey people. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it natural, and I'm going to do it my way, and they still get sick. And it's just like, no, you need to go see a doctor. And I don't care if you don't like what they say to you, but at least find out what's going on with you, and so that you can take care of it properly. If you're going to do the natural thing, do some research. Go see a naturopathic doctor. Then, just don't do it on your own. A lot of people try to self-diagnose and do things on their own, and it doesn't always work out for them, and they wonder why they're still having some issues. I got energy zapped by spirit the last couple of days, yesterday and today. So hard. I got zapped yesterday, and this was before going to the class last night where I met this other woman that had the headache issue. As spirit came in, I could feel the energy, and it came in through this side of my head, the right side of my head, and down through my neck. I could feel a pain going through here, but the energy just flowed, and it just flowed, and it was very cleansing energy, except for the fact it was giving me a headache. And it's just like I told spirit, I am going to let you do your thing, but if it doesn't let up in a couple hours, I'm going to go take a couple ibuprofen, and I do inform them when I'm going to do that, and then they did their thing, and they put me down for a couple of hours. I got a little nauseated because it was a very, very heavy energy, and I'm going, what the heck are you guys doing? And they're going, oh, it's just an upgrade. You're just going to, go through a detox thing. I said, well, no wonder I got a headache. You're doing the detox energy thing on me. And they did the same thing again today, except no headache this time. But they did an energy change. They put me down for a couple hours, and they said it's an energy detox. Okay, so I had that toxic relationship. I think that they're finally cleaning that up at a very, very deep level. They had been keeping it cleaned up at at a basic level, but it was just like, stay down, we're working, and it's just like, okay, so we'll do that. So I did that. I hope I don't have any more days of that to do, but if I do, we'll just allow it and finish getting cleaned up, because I know I've got bigger things out there that are going to happen. I have a question from Catherine, and she's one of my Facebook audience, and she doesn't live in Arizona anymore. She was a student from years and years ago, and she says, how do we stay positive in this day and age? Well, the thing is that life isn't made to be 100% positive, so don't expect it, because we do have issues, we do have things that go on, we do have obstacles, we do have lessons, we have things that we have to work through, and it's how you respond to it. I've talked about situations that I've been in many, many times, and when something horrible has happened, it's basically I sit down with spirit and I just say, what next? And it's just like and Catherine, you remember the old blue house on Myrtle in Glendale, and you took classes and stuff there. So you remember that place. When it burned down, while I was on the radio show, it burned down, and the firemen came in after the show. They said, first off, your daughter's okay. Second, the place is burning down. So I went after the show and got that. Took a look at that, and there were like 5 or 6 fire engines all over the place. There were police, there were people. My daughter's okay. One of the neighbors took her in. She lost everything that was upstairs except her cat and her laptop. And my shop was pretty heavily damaged. There's no way that I was going to continue to be there, but it was like, okay. I sat down. I didn't get upset. I didn't get angry. The first thing I said was, okay, I'm not supposed to be here anymore. Where do we go now? Unfortunately, I had to call the owners of the place and tell them their place had burned down. They were out of town. And the next day, the place next door handed me the keys to their place. We got an empty building. We'll talk about the rent later, which ended up being $400 cheaper than where I was. And my daughter moved back home with me until she could find another apartment. and she had to start over, but things were provided between work and friends and family. So things are taken care of. I had people, I called everybody, I said, my place is burned down, I need to move my stuff. And they all helped me move it into the building next door, and I put a lot of stuff in storage. I didn't have a whole lot of damage, just minimal damage, water damage for me. My daughter lost everything to the fire. The house was from 1928, was electrical. There was nothing I did, it was nothing she did. And the thing is that how do you stay positive? Well, the thing is don't get totally upset and negative, because when you hit rock bottom, and that was a point of rock bottom, you have to understand, and I've been teaching this for some time, when you hit rock bottom, don't keep trying to walk into the wall, because the only way out is up. Okay, the only way out is up. So you have to take it to a higher level and go, okay, there's some reason. There is some reason why this is happening. And when something like that does happen, it's just like you need to hold on. Okay, wrong page here. Just got to bring up my studio. I forgot to do that. You have to just keep moving. Don't crawl into a little hole and just say, "Oh my God, the world is caving in on me." I have had nothing but one thing after the other my entire life. One thing after the other. And right now I'm being tested for all kinds of things medically. I'm keeping a positive attitude. I know that Spirit's detoxing me energetically, and I know that I'm going to be changing my diet and stuff. And I do understand that I will have further testing. The doctor has not spoken to me yet, but I have access to my labs online. The VA is good for that. And I know that there are red flags, and I know exactly what they are about, but they give you a spectrum of things that it could be. So that's why I have to wait for the doctor, because there's going to be further testing. It could be something major, and it could be something minor. And if it's something major, we just take care of it as quickly as possible and start getting treatment. If it is something minor, we take care of that any way that we can as well. So it's just like, how can I stay positive? Well, if you get like something that's really, really bad, take an ego moment. Take an ego moment if you have to, and cry, because that's the way the body's reaction to release. If you can't stay positive when something bad happens, go ahead. And it's just like when something bad happens, I just tell Spirit, it's just like, I'm having an ego moment. This may go on for quite a while. And then I get up after I've had my ego moment and I've done my tears and whatever, and start planning how to move forward and how to take care of what's going on. And if it's something like a death in the family, how to take care of the living, what to do about the dead, what to do about the living, what to do about everything that you got left with. And I actually had that happen the last couple of years. So how do you stay positive? You get up off your ass and you keep moving. And understand that not everything is going to be positive. And it doesn't matter if it's this day and age or if it was back 2,000 years ago. They had issues. We have issues now. We have wars. We have famine. We have finance issues. We have all kinds of things going on in our life. And the thing is you just have to keep moving. Don't curl up into a little ball and be Mr. Negative or Miss Negative, or, and just say the world is just out to get me. And it's just like, no, it's how you respond to it. Just get up and keep moving. Because I've had a lot of bad things happen. And it's just like people don't seem to understand how I can keep moving this, because I don't want to be in that bad place. I want to keep moving and make things better again so I can move on. Okay, so I hope that answered the question. The other question was, how do we know that we're on the right path, our path to greatness? Well, not everybody has a path to greatness. Sometimes our path is simple and humble, and taking care of families, making decisions in this lifetime. You're here for an experience. So is a path to greatness something for everybody? No, it isn't. Not everybody can go to college and become a lawyer and make oodles and oodles of money. Do they sleep at night? I don't know about that, but I'm sure some of them don't. And have everything in that they want financially. But the thing is do they have happiness? A lot of times the answer is no. So path to greatness. Are we on the right path? Are we on the right path? And you have to understand when you think you're on the right path, understand that sometimes that right path has a little jag in it, and you've got to change what you're doing. Sometimes you have to totally reinvent yourself. You have to do that several times. And know that as you age, as things change around you, you need to change with it. You need to reinvent yourself. And being on the right path is not always straight. It's not always a straight path with a big light at the end, like a lot of these pictures that are out there that have all these little positive messages and stuff. It's not always that. Sometimes the right path is going left and going right and going left and then going up over a hill and down under the water and coming back up and trucking through mud, and that's maybe the right path for you. Your right path doesn't mean life is going to be easy. Your right path may be getting out there and having a good life, but it may be hard as hell, and you just have to work to it. How do you respond to it? So your path to greatness. Your path to greatness may be being married to the right person, raising children for the next generation. Your path to greatness may be paying your bills every month and doing service to others. Your path to greatness may be a humble path. It doesn't have to be a spectacular path, but it may be your right path. So I hope that answered that question as well. People like to hear a lot of fluff, and I don't give you the fluff on stuff. Okay, so last week we started with the manifestation piece, and I asked people to go ahead and follow along on the blog. The blog is at NancyZilversmit.com, okay? And the first page is the blog. You'll just have to scroll down from the radio shows till you get to the manifestation part one, because we're going to finish that first, and then go into part two. And well, actually, we did go into part two, so go just directly to part two, which will be above part one. And there'll be 3 weeks of radio show, because I haven't posted last week yet, and then there'll be underneath that there'll be manifestation. Or if you click on the manifestation file on the side, that'll take you directly to that area. Okay, so what we were discussing is manifestation. 100% does not always work. Okay, and we discussed that last week, and we talked a bit about why 100% doesn't work, and why the universe doesn't give you what you wanted. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up that screen so I can see it in front of me, which is easier than reading it off the paper. Okay, so what we also talked about, lovely phone call, so what we also talked about, we got into the piece about where we left off on this part two, was we did the emotional denial piece. Okay, we did the cultural pressure, the emotional denial, and we went on down to, we left off at the force of will. Now, the force of will, when you're trying to manifest, boy, I got somebody that really wants to talk to me. Sorry. But anyway, force of will is being pressured by others. And they'll cause you to have self-doubt. They'll cause you to have low self-esteem. You have the feeling of being controlled. The negative projection that another is forcing upon you. And I've been in this situation. So the reason I can write about these things is I've been there, done that. So it's just like you have all that negative stuff coming in on you. And they're projecting on you, and they're trying to get you to bend to their will. And the examples of a force of will is they're very extremely toxic to your mental and emotional being, and they can also be toxic to your spiritual being. Okay, especially if they tell you that your spirits that you work with, oh no, that one's locked up in hell and it's not going anywhere and it doesn't work with you, and you shouldn't tell people that spirit works with you. Well, I understand that you don't like Jesus, but I work with him, and others. I work with others as well. and I see a lot of good being done, and I don't, there is no way that one is locked up in hell, and neither are any of my other spirits that I work with. So that's the type of thing that you run into, and you'll be able to breathe much easier, and it's going to feel as if a weight has been lifted off your back when you get away from the people that are trying to force their will upon you. Okay, and sometimes it's a parent, sometimes it's a supposed friend, or a relationship, or strangers on the street. Oh my God, yeah, strangers on the street will also try and force their will upon you, and it's just like, really, seriously? Okay, I'm just walking away from this right now, and we're done. The other thing is the fear of attracting misfortune. Sometimes people they want to manifest so much. They want to manifest so much. They want good things, and start calling in, set an intention with their angels or with the divine that they want to attract, a loved one, or they want to attract money, or they want to attract whatever it is that they want to attract. Okay, it runs the gamut. Okay, so they want to attract, but they're also got this fear going on in the back of their mind, and this fear is basically what's going to hold them back, why they're not attracting it, because they have a fear of attracting misfortune. Okay, so why are you in this fear? If you're trying to attract good things, why are you in this fear? Because fear is crippling, and it's creating something imagined in the future of your mind. So the fear is future. Fear is future. Stuff that could happen, could, not will, but could happen. That may not happen at all. So why are you concerned about it? You should be working towards your future without fear. And if you know that there's going to be an obstacle there, work through it. Find a way around it. Find a way over it. Find a way under it. Find a way to dissolve it and to walk through it. There is other ways of taking care of that. So you've got to work on your fear. You should stay focused on the work. Don't waste time with the imagined fear of the future. Okay? What you are working on in the present moment is real. Fear is not real. Okay? And it can be crippling. So if you want to manifest, you got to get over the fear. Okay. So the other thing is emotional ownership. Own your emotions. Know the difference between what is yours and what is somebody else's. You can listen, and this is for your empathic people too, especially. Listen to other people's stories and experiences. You can be compassionate, but don't take on the burden of other people's emotions. You can sympathize, but when you go on with your own life, leave those emotions behind. They're not yours. They're somebody else's. Misery loves company, but don't take misery home with you, okay? My mother was that way. She was just misery, 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 and she was spreading it around, and she just loved to spread that around. Don't take it home with you. Don't take it home with you, because it's going to cause you all kinds of issues, and it'll stop you from manifesting. So remember, with manifestation, 100% positive does not always work to get what you want. There may be barriers. They may be huge. They may be small. Work through dissolving those barriers a piece at a time. Don't try and take on the whole thing at once, okay? You're not going to take on the wall of China at once. You can sit there and pound a little hole or climb over it or dig under it, but don't try and take down the whole wall all at one time. It's going to be a project. And you have to understand that. So you have to keep your focus. If you're sidetracked by a barrier, then stop, reevaluate where you are, what you're doing. Okay, focus on where you want to go, and then start again and continue towards that which you are aiming to manifest. It's going to take time, but you can do it. Okay, so that's what's on the blog. We're going to go further than that because there are other things that are not on the blog. Okay, so the Be Happy Backlash. The Be Happy Backlash, okay? I'm happy, be happy, positive, 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 until something happens. And then it backlashes, boomerangs, and then we have the why me, why the universe against me. So be careful of that. Be careful of that. Don't Don't. If life was all 100% positive, we would be bored to tears. I mean it. We'd be bored to tears. Okay. Let's see. And now I'm back on the papers. Okay. So we're moving on to that. On to the next thing. Success. You want to be successful with your manifestation. Okay. Think about what it is you want. Set an intention, okay? Ask for what it is you want. And I'm not talking vision boards, but some people like to go there. I don't. And then understand that it's going to be a price to pay. It's not just going to drop in your lap. So what price do you have to pay to get what it is you want? You think it was a free lunch? It wasn't. Okay. What price? And you think of things in your life that you want something, but what price are you willing to pay? Okay. I want this, but I have to leave that relationship behind. I want that, but I'm going to have to take a second job. I want peace in my life. Well, if I want peace in my life, I have to get rid of everything that's not peaceful in my life. And if you can't get rid of all of it, remember, peace is in here. Peace is inside. Okay? I raised 5 kids. I have 7 grandchildren. And I'll tell you what, when I want a little peace, I know that the peace is in here. And I'll say, excuse me, Grandma's taking a nap now. And I'll go meditate in my room. And I'll say, I'm locking the door. You find your own peace. You put a boundary up and say, don't bother me right now. It's like this person that's trying to contact me in the middle of my radio show. He knows better. This is the lost soul that I dumped, and he just called twice in the middle of the show. Amazing. Obstacle. Hang it up. Anyway, so what price do you pay? Well, you need to understand that if you're going to have to pay a price, commit to paying the price, okay? If you need to get rid of your debt, well, the way to get rid of debt is, one, you're going to have to pay it off. Pay it off. And quit making more debt. It may mean cutting up those credit cards. You know, I'm just using that as an example. There's a whole lot of different things. But commit to paying the price. Leaving one job for a job that you actually love. It may mean that you get less money, but is it worth the peace in your heart? Is it worth doing what it is you love? Finding satisfaction in dissatisfaction. If you are at a job where you are dissatisfied with what's going on, do your job, be satisfied that you know that you're doing it correctly, even though others are trying to tell you otherwise. If they don't like it, you can say, you know, you can let me go, and I've done that. I've done that. And the thing is that I had a job 2 years ago. No, it was about a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, I decided to step out into real-world jobs and found out really quickly I'm not supposed to be out doing that. I went into a real-world job at a call center, and I was just taken up to almost over 200 calls a day. And I was doing gift cards, helping people with gift cards and verifying them and stuff, and helping them get refunds. Well, the thing is they switched me to credit card fraud, which is extremely negative. People get on the phone, they yell at you and scream at you, and you can't tell them off, you can't hang up on them, and you have to listen to them with all this negativity being blasted at you. And I told them, for one, I told the management, for one, I said, for one, I was doing very good over where I was. I was one of the top contenders as to what I was doing. You put me in this other section. Well, we have the right to put you where we want to. And I said, well, I'm not going to stay here. You can let me go. And in the meantime, I'm not taking another one of these phone calls where I'm having people blast at me, and a lot of it not in English because they were foreign accounts. And I'm going to go back to gift cards, and if you want to let me go, you can do that, because I'm not going to deal with that. And they let me go. So I found another job immediately after that and had a big allergic reaction to printing press. So I was working printing press, but it's just like, okay, I'm not supposed to be doing this. And then I went back to doing what it is I do. So, and where my passion is working with spirit, and because I was pressured, okay, I was going through that force of will by others to get a job, and it was family and friends and stuff, get a job. Yeah, it didn't work out, and I made just as much money doing what I do and keeping in the black. So find what it is you're passionate about, and learn to find satisfaction in dissatisfaction, even if it means, you know what, I need to just leave that place. Consider the worst case scenario, okay? When you want success, you have to also consider the worst case scenario. There's a lot that could be a worst case scenario when it comes to manifestation. It's just like, if you didn't follow the guidelines of manifestation, and these are all just suggestions, guidelines are suggestions, they're a matter of a person's opinion. You're going to find several of them out there on the internet that are entirely different from what I'm talking about. But consider the worst case scenario. My worst case scenario was that my business burned down. My manifestation was, when I asked Spirit, where do we go next? Well, next was next door. Okay, so I had a worst case scenario, and I got moved next door to a less expensive place, to downsize, but still able to keep my clientele because I was in the same area. So what's the worst case scenario, and how do you get out of it? Okay, there's a lot of ways depending on what it is. Be realistic without worry. Okay, be realistic without worry. And being realistic may mean that you're going to have to reevaluate everything you're doing. You may have to sell some stuff. You may have to put up a budget. You may have to know where every dollar you have is going, and you need to name that dollar, and you need to take control of it instead of letting it control you. You may need to do that. Be realistic about worry. Don't worry. Be realistic. Do something about it. Okay? Do something about it. And if you set a budget, you know what's coming. So do something about it. If you know you're not going to make enough money, get a second job. Sell your stuff. Do something. Have a yard sale. But do something. Be realistic. Don't worry. Because worry's not going to get you anywhere. But being realistic will. Work hard. One day at a time. Okay, don't look at it as a prison sentence for 5 years, for the next 5 years, or the next 20 years, or the rest of your life. It's not a prison sentence, okay? Take and work hard one day at a time, whatever it is that you work at, okay? And work hard. If being a at-home mom is how you work hard, that's a hell of a job. I've been there, done that. Or if it's that you have to go out and work construction, or you work in a library, whatever your job is. And so you need to look at things, work hard, one day at a time, and know that feelings go both ways. So how you treat somebody else is how it's going to come back to you. Feelings go both ways. And if you get really snotty with somebody, they're going to get snotty back to you. Okay? Almost, I'd say 99% of the time. There'll be a real hero out there one day that goes, oh, I'm so sorry, but what's wrong? Why are you acting this way? You don't see too many people that do that. Okay, but you need to know that feelings cut both ways. All right. Try for seeking balance and harmony in the situation. It's real hard sometimes, but it can be accomplished. So balance and harmony in a situation, okay? And never give up. And that's the thing, too many people give up too soon. And it's just right when they were about to make that manifestation. It was right there, it was at the door, and they gave up and walked away. And it was right there. Okay. I have Raven quicking in. Sorry, I tuned in late. Well, you can watch the thing on YouTube afterwards. If you covered this, but sorry if you covered this, but what do you have to say about manifesting people in your life, such as people who can advance one's career or life partners? Same thing. It's the same process. It's the same process. Listen to last week's show, and you'll get the beginning of the manifestation thing. And right now, it's the same process. If you want people who can advance you in your career or life partners, it's just like with me. I just tell Spirit, I set that intention. I want to manifest people who are going to get me where I need to go. People who are going to open the doors. People who are going to come to me that they need some work done, or that they need a prayer session, or that they need a healing session, or that they need a reading, or they need a consultation, or they need to take a class. And what happens is suddenly people start contacting you, or people start introducing you, or you walk into a place and you just start talking with somebody, and it turns out that person is one of those people that can help you advance, or they're be the life partner. You know, you never know where it's going to be. Set out the manifestation. Go about your business. Work towards that manifestation. If it's a life partner thing that you're looking for, that life partner, sure, I'd love to have one too, but I don't expect to have one drop in my lap at the moment. I've gone 2 years sometimes without having to meet the next person. So it may take time, but while you're taking care of life in general, that life partner may just show up. That life partner may show up when you are least expecting it, when you are not looking for it. And the same thing, set the intention, put it out there. What do you have to do? What price are you going to have to pay? And continue to move on with your life. Know that things will manifest eventually, and it doesn't happen immediately sometimes. Sometimes it takes time for Spirit to put those people in the right place so you can meet them and advance your career or be a life partner. As far as advancing one's career, then go ahead and apply for a higher position. Go ahead and apply for this. Go ahead and apply for another job. Go ahead and get that education. Whatever it is that's going to help you advance your career, do it. And then the people that are going to help you with that, they're going to be the teachers. They're going to be the interviewers. They're going to be the business partners in the place. Whatever it is, continue with what you're doing. And continue doing things that will advance your career by yourself, and the people that need to help you will step in. Okay. And it always happens that way. With me, when it's time, it happens very, very quickly. Very quickly. Okay. Then you need to look at what your precious assets are. If you're going to manifest, you need to look at what your precious assets are. What are your precious assets? Well, they're your body, your mind, your spiritual self, and your time. Okay? Those are your precious assets. Your body, keep it healthy. Keep it with good nutrition. If you put a bunch of crap in your body, you're not going to be healthy. Okay? So keep it healthy. Good nutrition, exercise as you can, and stress management. Stress management, very, very important, because stress shows up in the body. Stress shows up in the back. It'll hurt in the back. It'll go up through the shoulders. It'll go up into the head. You'll have these horrible migraines or other types of headaches. Stress will show up as a breakdown of the body, a breakdown of health. So what you need to do is learn how to be calm. Learn how to do things that will keep you calm. Sometimes taking a long walk keeps a person calm. Sometimes it's meditation. Sometimes it's listening to music. Sometimes it's going for a drive. Whatever it is that helps you to relieve stress. Going out and playing a good game of racquetball. I mean, whatever it is. And that's exercise also, but it's a stress reliever. So your body, health, nutrition, exercise, stress management. Your mind, your attitude. Your attitude is everything. I mean, even if you have a lot of other things going on, your mind is your attitude. How are you, and like I said, how are you going to respond? So when you respond to things, attitude, okay? Courage, be able to step out of your comfort zone, okay? Be able to step forward. If you don't have courage, where are you going to go? Okay? So attitude, with the attitude, courage. Be able to move forward with it. Common sense. Whoa, a lot of people out there nowadays, no common sense. I mean, it's just like, hello, anybody home? Anybody there? Yeah, I sit down and I listen to people's stuff, and it's just like, really? Seriously? Did you think that maybe you could do this? Or maybe you could do that? Common sense. A lot of people are lacking in common sense nowadays. They have a lot of tech work. You know, they're very, very tech. They're online, social media. They're into computers, doing blogs and all this other stuff. But common sense. Hello, common sense. And then you've got people that have common sense. And they look at a situation and they go, oh yeah, there's an easier way to do that. Just walk around it. And then keep going. That common sense. I got a comment from Ravens. So what you're saying is steadily to become the best. Own stuff, yes. Working hard at being the best me, and just let everybody else worry about it. Everything else worry about itself. If I'm understanding, then that makes sense. Whoa, okay, light bulb. Yes, you need to worry about you, take care of you. Everything else is going to work. We have tarot cards for that. Everything will work out on its own, but you need to take care of you. If you don't take care of you, you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else. Okay? So your spiritual self. Are you satisfied with your spiritual relationship with your ego self? These two sometimes are in conflict. Okay. Your ego wants to go, yeah, I'm going to go out and have that drink. Your spirit self is going, you're going to have a hangover in the morning, and you got to get up for work. So it's just like, you gotta balance that. Are you satisfied with your spiritual relationship with your ego self? So yeah, sometimes it means we have to change what we're doing. And then you look at your spiritual self and your ego self, and then take it higher. Are you satisfied with your relationship with spirit, with the divine, with the universe, whatever it is you believe in? Are you satisfied with that relationship? Okay? Even an atheist has a spiritual relationship. They don't like to hear it. But even they have a spiritual relationship by whatever name that they call it. Okay? Whether it be energy or the universe or the greater good or whatever. They have their own names for it. Okay. The other thing is your time. How much time do you want to spend? Really? How much time are you going to spend to manifest what it is that you want? Well, if you want it bad enough, you'll spend time working for it. Okay? I wanted a steady income. After my husband died, I lost all my income. I wanted a steady income. I paid off my debts, paid off his debts, put myself on a budget, and got out and sold my stuff, which I'm still doing. I have a lot of stuff. When you're 60, you have a lot of stuff. And it's time to downsize. So, then started getting back into things. After I got my physical world taken care of, I turned to my main work is spiritual world now. Boom. Still got to deal with the physical world. Oh, yes. But I had to wait 2 years. 2 years for my widow's benefits. And in the meantime, I had to keep going. It's just like, okay. So how much time? Set a goal. I had a deadline. Set a goal. took care of number one, took care of the family, took care of everything. And so how much time? And manage your time. Time management, okay? Get the important stuff done. Then you can go have fun if it's in the budget. Then you can go have fun. But manage your time, okay? It's like on a day like today, I know I have a zillion things to do. I got a class tonight on top of it. I had a zillion things this morning to do. Spirit was bugging me to get my butt out and buy a NutriBullet RX. They didn't want anything less. Yeah, it's not cheap. Been looking at it for months, and then they pushed me out the door today and said, "You got everything set up for the show? Let's go." And it's just like, I only have an hour and a half before the show starts. And they went, "No, we're going now." And it's just like, okay, went to Costco. They were out of it. Okay, second place I know that has it. Went to Target. They had one left. No wonder they were pushing me out the door. So it's like, okay, listened, time management, bought it, zoomed home, did everything I needed to prior to the show. And there's a lot, usually. So focus versus multitasking. Focus versus multitasking. We have a tarot card for that, too. Focus means like laser vision, okay? Laser vision. Do it, get it done, get it over with. Multitasking, doing 10 million things at once and not really accomplishing anything except waste time and doing a half-assed job. So when you want to manifest and you want something really bad, how much time are you going to do it? Are you going to manage your time? Are you going to focus? And that's where lists come in, okay? That's where lists start coming in. All right, you have goals. You need to clear the road. Clear the road for manifestation. And we've talked about that. Clearing the road. All of that was talking about clearing the road. You want something to manifest. Write it down. And I think I lifted up the little lists yesterday. Got a grocery list over there. This is this week's list. I have a monthly list. Part of the monthly list is already done. I have another list, business list, and because Spirits wants me to go into another area of business where they want me to run an online school and do other crap, and I'm doing a lot of programming stuff with that. So anyway, because it's the way that I have to do it. Keep it in the budget. But anyway, so you got to write it down. Write down your yearly goal, your monthly goal, your daily goal, your weekly goal, everything. Be flexible for changes because whatever doesn't get done on the list goes on the new list. Put it at the top, okay, of the new list. And if you're going to do a daily list, do it what you can in that day. Don't get upset if you don't get it all done. Be flexible because you may have a kid that's puking and you have to go rescue them from daycare because mom is at work and you're the emergency contact. Go take time, go do that. Car breaks down. Go take time, go take care of that. You know, so you're going to have little daily obstacles. Be flexible, take care of them. The stuff on the list can wait to another day, but start over again the next day. And always, always, always connect with Spirit and have that part of you that wants you to bring forth that manifestation. So if you partnership with Spirit, manifestation will come, and it may take a while. It does. Sometimes it takes a couple years. It happens. Okay? It really does. It happens. I would like to thank the people that gave me the questions before the show. I hope I answered them, at least in some way or another. And I do have more manifestation notes for next week. We go into a little more detail. And we go into what are you actually doing. So what I'd like some of you to do is go back over the blog, the part 1 and 2 at nancyzilversmit.com, and read it. You can listen to the show last week and this week, and see if you can get yourself started. Get yourself started and keep a journal. And I tell my people, keep a journal. Those who take class from me on manifestation, you keep a journal, and I want to hear about it next week. So if you have something that you want to manifest, you start your list, start working on it. start improving what needs to be improved, get through the barriers, whatever they are, and get that manifestation going, and then get back to me. I would like to know who actually got something out of that. The people in my classes, they have one class, and then I usually give them actually a month, but they usually get back to me before that because I can't wait that long. Such and such happened. But anyway, get back to me. Get back to me next week, and we will go over everything. I will go ahead and talk about, if you have questions as to your manifestation or why it didn't happen. And then if you want to get on the air, we'll talk live on the air. That would be fun. That would be fun. And you'll have to do it via phone or via Skype. So get ready, manifest, and have a good week.
Listening to AchieveRadio.com. A new drummer for a new